tell me he glad water come back, but when he beard, the water burning here. He look like labor care and people salt water to be. He might say every time he beard, he face a butt. I labor hype over them here with butters cut. I watch you here. He might say every time he beard.
That I will achieve, because I do the things I should, between my brethren kind and good. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on to reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on, stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on.
Yes, my Straight Talk family, when you do hear that theme song, you know it's time for another edition of Straight Talk, and time for me to bid you greetings, extend greetings to my Straight Talk Massive in St. Kitts and Nevis, and all throughout the entire Caribbean region. I want to say a special good night to Grenada tonight, as well as St. Vincent and Grenadines. Don't forget Barbados. As a matter of fact, I'll get myself into trouble if I don't say the entire OECS. Dominica, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, and Grenada, of course. And throughout the Caribbean, I should say, because we are reaching you all down in Jamaica. Hail up to my brethren in Jamaica, in Trinidad and Tobago, should I say, all over the world, because we are on the World Wide Web. We reach and touch you in Africa, in Asia, the Caucasian and the Namibian diaspora, and the Caribbean diaspora in Asia, Africa, Europe, and all over North America. And of course, here in St. Kitts and Nevis. We'll never hear the end of it if I don't say a special good night to St. Kitts and Nevis, and in particular Nevis, across the Narrows. Let's hope that things are all right. You may be joining me for the first time, so I want to inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express yourselves freely. Let us, in the process, strive to get St. Kitts and Nevis back to that enviable position of being number one. It's a hard task. It's a Himalayan task, especially with the kind of leadership we have in the country at this moment. It's not going to be easy, my Straight Talk family, but let's try. But nothing beats a failure but a trial. And to those who are joining me for the first time, I want to also inform you that on this program, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting ourselves to your obligations, and of course we try to raise the level of national consciousness, like I said, by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, I should say, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And I would pledge, I always pledge to be your advocate, your untiring advocate, I should add, of truthfulness. I'm always reminded by the words of that favorite hymn of mine, which goes something like this: we are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and the right. Stand firm for godly justice, bringing evil things to light. So let us seek the courage that's needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we all may know the blessing of the doing of God's will, my Straight Dog family. And I want to say as well, just to reconfirm, that absolutely nothing is watered down on this program, neither by omission nor by exaggeration. We don't try to make our program exciting and we forget the normal principles of truth. As we're not about sensationalism or creating excitement, especially at the expense of accuracy, because we always lean on the facts, my Straight Dog family. We always lean on the facts, because I consider it my bounden duty to always present the unvarnished truth, I call it, the plain truth. We give you nothing but the truth, I can assure you, my Straight Dog family. Especially when it comes to governance in our country. So this program joins us together with people across the Federation, people across the Caribbean, and matter of fact, people across the world, in the diaspora all around the world. Some we may know very well. Some we may have met. Others we do not know, and many we will never meet. Some of us will agree, and some will disagree, and that's okay, my Straight Dog family, because we are a diverse people. We are a different people from all over the world, and we anticipate and we recommend, we invite, I should say, diversity. That's fine. But what will sadden me is if we start to become disagreeable, my Straight Dog family. So let us thank Almighty God nonetheless for helping us to understand, oh, how good and oh, how pleasant it will be for brethren to come together, to dwell together in unity. So let us hope and pray for that day when we will all sing His praise together. So welcome again, my people, and thanks to all those who share the link as you bring first-timers. Please continue to do so. For the first-timers, I must also inform you that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we entertain your calls, we entertain your emails, and if you're so minded calling, the numbers are on your monitors. You can find them quite easily there. And if you like the cloak of anonymity, as I call it, we give you access via our email platform, and that address is also on your monitor, on your screen there. You can access the program via that email address. And those of you on Alexa at home, you can also access Straight Talk on Alexa. Just say, Alexa, enable skill. Alexa will ask which skill, and your response, very simple, Massive Vibes Radio. Then you are connected. That's a paid program on Massive Vibes Radio. And we say a special welcome to our young brigade. We must hail our young brigade. We must hail the rulers of tomorrow. Young Dwayne, Tristan, Shamar, Kevin, Young Rue in South Carolina, Jamal over there in Anguilla, Travis and Travon upon the extension. I haven't seen them for some time. And that special lady is always connected over there in St. Louis. And don't forget the Queen over there in Texas. But for our first timers, I can inform you that for each show we consider our observations in review. After which I present a dissertation or short thesis. And my thesis I have titled for tonight, The Betrayal of a Country and Its People. And my Straight Dog family, yes, observations in review are an integral part of Straight Talk. And I wanted to address the issue of water, which is still a bother. It's water is life, and we are not getting the water. And yes, climate variability has caused a deficit in rainfall. But there were lots of, jumping and dancing about, and I dare say prematurely, but especially the folks in Keon who were out of water all yesterday. And the folks in Keon are also complaining about the saltiness, the brackish water that's coming apparently from that new well drilled by Bede. We cannot confirm that it's accurate. Someone said that, or some person is saying when they shower, their eyes are itching. But that's a serious complaint, as if there's salt intrusion, and most aquifers, or all aquifers, do have a salt water. But what is normally disappointing for me is that the manager and water engineer Cromwell Williams, who is is a consummate professional. But in recent times, he has been, conspicuously silent, if I can use that term. And whether the things we hear are true or false, I believe as a public servant, he has an obligation to provide clarification on these issues, on these complaints. The other issue of electricity as well. Electricity going out all over St. Kitts and Nevis. Load shedding continued. And all because of the short-sightedness, I call it, of this current administration, who do not subscribe, obviously, to the concept of government being continuous. Because they would have inherited a power purchase agreement signed already by Skellig to produce 35 megawatts or 36 megawatts of solar power. And for some reason, they have stalled it. And nigh 2 years, that power has not come online and won't until the next 18 months or 2 years. And meantime, the country is suffering. Imagine July has to rent generators. Going back almost 10 years ago to rent generators, or 10 or 11 years or 12 years ago, going back to rent generators. And that's a backward move. Not only is it a backward move, but the generator rentals cost money. Last time, I think it was in 2011 when generators were rented by the government, it cost well over $12 million. Over $12 million to rent generators. And we don't know what it will cost at this time because the government is so tight-lipped on everything. No matter you hear them talk about transparency, no matter you hear them talk about good governance, they have already moved to rent generators and the country does not know at what cost. And that is bad, that is sad as well. And it is because of the short-sightedness, I said, of this administration that for silly reasons, they did not continue the project as it relates to the development of solar energy here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And this is what's happening.
This summer, we have already discussed in Cabinet an advance warrant to rent generators. The generators are coming this summer. Mm-hmm. This is different to those that we are buying. This is just to rent these generators so that we can generate enough energy during this hot season. So those are coming. The companies was already on the ground, and I spoke to the general manager as the minister is away. I spoke to the general manager with respect to that, and the company is always on the ground, but that is moving forward very quickly. So we will have.
Imagine that. Having to sign an advance warrant, it simply tells us, my Straight Talk family, for those who may be pondering, that that item was not budgeted for. And it has nothing to do with the heat. It has to do with poor planning or lack of planning, my Straight Talk family, as it comes to our energy needs. We never had those issues 7 years ago. We never had those issues whatsoever. And the plan to introduce renewable energy was well on course until we had that change of government. But my Straight Talk family, let us hope and pray that someday things would change for the better, because surely it's not going good now in our country. We've been speaking as well about the amnesty, and we on Straight Talk informed you about the amnesty that was introduced 5 years ago by the Tea Immunity Administration. And this happened, my Straight Talk family.
But they come in different calibers. As with this one, the 40 caliber, which is way bigger than the 9mm caliber. We have the 38 caliber revolvers, which for some law enforcement are backup pistols because carry just 6 to 8 rounds based on the type of caliber it is. We have a 32 Webley and Scott from way back in the 1800s. Ammunition for this type is real. But yes, they can do the job that is required of them. On the second table that we have down here, most of these weapons are used by law enforcement. This particular table in question. You have the 9mm Beretta, that is the choice weapon of the US military. You have the lookalike, which is the 92 AF, the Taurus pistol. Just at a glance, they look practically the same. Then we move down to the 45 caliber Taurus pistol. As you see the name 24/7. Yes, always on time. This is one of the dependable weapons for persons because of the capabilities of the weapon. The Smith & Wesson.
I might Straight Talk family, just in the event you're pondering, that's not recent, that's 5 years ago. But we told you that the High Command of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force has been silent, albeit the amnesty had ended some 2 weeks ago. But lo and behold, the High Command has broken its silence on the outcome of the gun amnesty that was introduced after the passage of the draconian legislation of 40 years in prison and or a fine of $500,000, $500,000. Yes, you're hearing right, my Straight Talk family. They went to the parliament and passed legislation of anyone found with guns and ammunition will get 40 years in prison. But the judge decides that nonetheless, and or a fine of $500,000. I just jog your memories what happened 5 years ago, my Straight Talk family, when that amnesty was introduced. And my Straight Talk family, the Commissioner of Police, James Sutton, has now confirmed what we told you about 2 weeks ago, that not one gun was recovered. I don't think we need to play his release and the threat that he issued. The fact is, the amnesty, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately, was not fruitful. Not one firearm was collected. But those are my observations in review for tonight, my Straight Talk family. And I move into my thesis, which I mentioned, that I titled The Betrayal of a Country and Its People. And it is said that the natural starting point in considering crimes of betrayal of a country is the crime of treason. And in considering the betrayal of the people of our country, one starting point can be the close examination of the performance of this July cabinet over the past 2 years. Ask ourselves, my Straight Talk family, what are some reasons why some in our midst, beg your pardon, and in high places would want to betray their own country and its citizens? What could make somebody do that? Is it about money? It's a question may ask. Because in today's St. Kitts and Nevis, it seems as though that the sense of materialism outweighs the patriotism of our current leaders in particular. Look at their priority to raise their own ministerial salaries by 35%, while ordinary poor people are suffering. Hear me, ordinary poor people in St. Kitts and Nevis are suffering and will suffer more as this administration, this July administration, continues to clinically remove them, in particular single mothers. They remove from the PAP. And like I mentioned earlier, as if they are baptized in the name of the Father, the Son, and the IMF. They excuse it's the IMF recommendation. One lady called me a few days ago, said for May she did not get a PAP. Although the emails were exchanged, she reapplied, reconfirmed all her particulars, and lo and behold, the poor young lady, the poor single mother, cannot pay for rent for May because the $500 PAP has been unceremoniously declined or removed. And we understand that come this month, the threshold or the ceiling amount has been reduced from $3,000 to $2,500, and there'll be tiers. Instead of the one $500 amount, you'll have different tiers starting or as high and as $250 and below, my Straight Talk family. And this is sad news for our country where nothing is happening. Absolutely nothing is going on. The economy is stagnant. While the members of cabinet just joyride. They go all over the world, my Straight Talk family. As a matter of fact, they work from abroad, according to our Prime Minister.
I was working abroad. Tell them we don't just travel, we work abroad. When we go, we don't take no picture with no camel and on no beach with no glasses. We're taking picture with leaders and investors, telling them to invest in St. Kitts and Nevis. That is what we travel for. So we work abroad on your behalf.
What insult being hurled at the people of this country? He might not have taken a picture on a camel, but he took a picture drinking camel milk. And then he sends to us a Facebook message to tell the country he's in Turkey. Turkey above all places. And I trust and hope we don't find a criminal like the one who's given this country so much trouble, the criminal from France. But these cabinet members, they act as though if they don't go through with the betrayal of the country and the people, then their life or their families' lives will be destroyed. They're full of ego. Some of them are now in power, and this makes them feel so important They strut all around the country, flanked by their security guards, which perhaps makes them feel even more important. One minister has 2 security guards. The Prime Minister has a security detail of 24 security officers. And why are they so insecure? It baffles a lot of us. But what is getting local, regional, and international attention, my Straight Talk family, we all know, is the latest debacle with this convicted felon, Philippe Martinez. And it must be classified, his actions that is, they must be classified as a clear and present danger to our national security, economic stability, and the financial stability of the OAS region. We all should be concerned about the latter because our national bank has been brought right into the midst of this convicted felon's attempt to bring our country to its knees. But our national bank is the largest homogeneous bank in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. And most, if not all of these banks hold the same portfolios while pursuing similar diversification strategies. How could we just sit back, my Straight Talk family, and allow this convicted criminal to expose the St. Kitts, Nevis, and Anguilla National Bank to the financial risk of losing its corresponding banking relationship with the Bank of America in the USA? And such a relationship, the corresponding bank relationship, that is, involves, for those of you who may be wondering, one financial institution, to wit the correspondent, provides banking services to another financial institution, to wit the respondent, where both institutions are based in different countries. And under such an arrangement, my Straight Talk family, correspondent banks may provide the respondent bank with a wide range of services that include but are not limited to cash management, example, interest-bearing accounting, a variety of currencies, international wire transfers, we send our monies overseas to our family, our friends, check clear or clearing, we get our checks cleared when they come from overseas. Sometimes take some time, depends on the corresponding bank in relations or relationship. But they're payable through accounts and foreign exchange services. And that in a nutshell is what or how the corresponding banking relation works. So when we hear our Prime Minister, Dr. July, saying, for example, that he was not named, my Straight Talk family, he was not named, or rather nobody implicated him, or cannot implicate him, then we must be concerned.
Nobody can implicate me in anything. I know there is a part of it that talk about a judicial review, that those who would have gotten citizenship under the prison project, that they should be revoked. We introduce criminalization for anybody who would have undersold or who would have, misrepresented the true cost of our citizenship by investment. So we did not wait on anybody to do that. That is why we know we are ahead of the game. Nobody should be able to take any government to court for good governance. You should have good governance from the beginning.
Well, my Straight Talk family, it is not about Dr. July, not at all. It is about the country. And the man, after 2 years, just does not understand his role as Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. For example, and I mentioned this before, the government owns 51% of the shares of the National Bank. And we understand this convicted felon, Philippe Martinez, went to the bank to get a mortgage on the OTI hotel that he bought. Of course, he got monies from the snake Mark Brantley in Nevis and the NIA. $150,000 US per month. That was the arrangement for over 2 years. That's well over 10 or 12 million dollars, my Street Talk family. But what if he got the mortgage on the OTI from the National Bank? Would things would have been better, or would things be the same today? But in what appears to be a high-level conspiracy, this international fraudster, my Straight Dog family, has recruited a former minister of government and a former minister of tourism as his advisor. But he has to be a political advisor, no doubt. As Dwight Astafan, the Lebanese San Negro, is a lawyer, but he is not qualified and will not be allowed to argue in court on behalf of Martinez, as he has not been called to the bar, as we say. Dwyer is therefore not fit to speak at the bar of the Eastern Caribbean or other courts, for that matter, as judges only allow legally qualified men and women to address them in court on the law. So perhaps, just perhaps, my Straight Dog family, that is why Dwyer speaks with the Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin. They exchange WhatsApp messages, and Asafan forward these messages to his client Philippe Martinez, who then files these messages along with his affidavit and his lawsuit. Yes, he files these messages, my Straight Dog family, from the Attorney General for conversation between himself and the Attorney General. What kind of man can do this? But is it because, as I said, he is not called to the bar, so he himself cannot address these matters in court, or any matter in court, any matter of the law in court? But this is surely an integral part, my Straight Dog family, of the betrayal as intimated by the fraudster, who said this, my Straight Dog family.
You have seen the WhatsApp messages of the Attorney General of St. Kitts and Nevis in the lawsuit. It's not me writing that. That is the Attorney General calling the scheme a good scam, saying that they were selling at $75,000. The legal price is $175,000, $100,000 less. This is not even a scam. This is the biggest heist that took place on the people of the Caribbean with their passport money.
But my Straight Dog family, ask yourselves a question. How can they sell a share or sell a passport at US $75,000 when the fees levied by the Citizenship by Investment Unit in St. Kitts and Nevis is $60,000 all told per family? Yes, the husband would be levied 25,000 US dollars. The wife, $15,000. And if it's a family of 4, I'm using the formula being used all the time, then 2 children at $10,000 each, that's $60,000. So how can passports be sold, according to this fraudster, at US $75,000? Is he just trying to excite us? Is he just trying to make his case sound good? So one must examine the lies that are being peddled by this international fraudster. Imagine, my straight dog family, just imagine. The chief legal advisor of the people. Yes, the people, I say, because the government is the people. But the chief legal advisor and attorney general seem to be complicit with the advisor of this criminal in an effort, it seems, to end the political career of 2 leaders who still have quite a lot to give to this country. And the 2 leaders I'm referring to are the Right Honorable Denzel Llewellyn Douglas, who served this country as Prime Minister for nigh 20 years, and the Honorable Timothy Sylvester Harris, who served this country for 7 years as Prime Minister. And I submit that these 2 leaders still have quite a lot to contribute to St. Kitts and Nevis. My straight dog family, the advisor of this convicted felon, as I said before, he studied law in England, but was never called to the bar. But isn't it strange that the law firm Kelsick, Wilkin and Ferdinand, and the lead lawyer in this case is the nephew of Astafan, the advisor to the fraudster? My straight dog family, isn't it a coincidence, or is it that the father of the owner or part owner of Kelsick, Wilkin and Ferdinand is the only law firm that Garth Lucifer Wilkin, the Attorney General, worked for all his life? Are these coincidences, my straight dog family? Think about it. Think about this betrayal of the country and the people. Isn't it strange, my straight dog family, that the advisor for the convicted fraudster Philippe Martinez, whose name is named as Dwyer Astafan, shared the WhatsApp messages with the claimant, an international fraudster? There's so much coincidence or correlation in this betrayal of our country and its people. When the fraudster filed his lawsuit, for example, his address was given as the law firm owned by the premier across the Narrows. Is that a coincidence as well, my straight dog family? And then the snake, Mark Brantley, comes to tell people that they are destroying or mashing up, as we say colloquially, mashing up the CBI. He had the gall to say this, my straight dog family.
I ask the question, why would any of us join with anybody from outside to destroy a program that has served all of us?
And we know why. We know why, my straight dog family. The Premier Snake, Mark Brantley, and the Prime Minister, Dr. July, do have plans afoot. But I was in church yesterday and I heard my pastor, or the pastor of the Bethesda Moravian Church, Pastor Owen Warner, in his sermon, he referred to Ecclesiastics. And he spoke to a time to speak and a time to remain silent. And I submit this is not a time to be silent, my Straight Dog family. First, we must stand together, as there is too much division and too much flip-flopping in this country. We all remember, my Straight Dog family, when the snake said this just recently.
Dr. Harris, congratulations, sir, on 5 years as a brilliant Prime Minister and steward of this country. The successes that we've had could not have been possible without you and your support, without the grace of God and His support. And I would ask that we continue in that vein to stay steadfast, on course. We are on the right track with the right leadership to take this country forward and upwards.
Do you believe what you heard just now, my Straight Dog family? Yes. That's why they call him a snake. He lied. He lied about being outside in the yard, to use his words, when the cabinet met. But in fact, he was the first inside the cabinet. And he even testified to the process, my Straight Dog family. But liars have no memories. Or liars have no memory, I should say, my Straight Dog family. Remember he said this?
But before I conclude, let me simply say that this budget is realistic. It doesn't contain any pie-in-the-sky promises. It says to our people that we must tighten our belts because hard times have come, not through any fault of our own, not through any mismanagement or lack of transparency or good governance. And that is why I have to commend the move of the bill, the Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Financial Secretary, and the entire team. And commend the Cabinet too, because the process over here is a very open and transparent one, where all Cabinet members participate in the budget discussions leading up to the compilation of the budget. The ministries don't always get what they want, the ministers don't always get what they want. But at the end of the day, we have a document that is fit for purpose. And a document that speaks to the challenges but also the hopes and aspirations for the nation of St. Kitts and Nevis for the new fiscal year. And so I commend all.
And my Straight Dog family, yes, that's the snake who claimed he was outside in the yard. But yet he's reporting other things. And just after that, you remember this, my Straight Dog family? How many of us remember this flip-flop man?
We have taken the unprecedented step of putting a deadline of Wednesday, April 20th, 2022 for a response from the Prime Minister. We shall therefore know by Wednesday whether we can achieve resolution or whether we face dissolution.
And we must never forgive them, my Straight Dog family, for what they did to our country. Another flip-flop is well known to us, my Straight Dog family. Another flip-flop we know very well, my Straight Dog family.
You know I'm not a man to apologize. But you all bring me right after Dr. the Right Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas. Dr. Douglas, where your face? I want to see your face. Dr. Douglas, the Right Honorable Douglas, come here please, come here please, come here please, come here please, come here please. Can't be business as usual. Can't, you all know I beat upon this man so much. But it's all in good faith. But you know I'm not a man to apologize. But tonight, I want to tell Dr. Douglas, I'm sorry that I didn't listen to you. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you. when I went with that vagabond, that nasty man from Tabernacle. And so, accept my apology. So you're the first person I ever apologized to.
Apology accepted.
Yes, good man. And so, comrades, that is how we do it. And I want you all to say, welcome home, big lad. Welcome home, big lad.
Yes, that's another well-known flip-flop of my Street Dog family. But on a different day, and in a different year, the flip-flopper would say this about Douglas.
I walk in going out, I'm about to go by my vehicle. I see a vehicle pull up. 505 or something in mark. I didn't recognize the vehicle. But while I pass in the vehicle, I see the window winding up, the glass going up. Wee! The window going up. Wee! When I look inside, who think in there? Denzel Douglas. I say, what? So he come like Denzel Douglas, turn up the window on me. Because he either no want to say good afternoon to me or he no want good afternoon from me. I had to laugh. It happened to the well. The driver could tell you, may I tell you a lie? And I said that because, here what I'm going to say now. If you keep your window down, I might tell him, bye, come go home.
And that's the flip-flop of my Street Dog family. But you know my Street Dog family. A lot has been lost in the process as these men continue the betrayal of the country and its people. And we have not discussed the process. Last week I told you about the due diligence process that they tried to fool us about. But the process as it relates to the CBI, my Street Dog family, goes something like this. Now, all projects are submitted to Skipper, that the St. Kitts Investment Promotion Agency. It starts, or these projects, they start with Skipper. They start with this agency. And the director of Skipper, Director Fritz, would say this, my Street Dog family.
We have seen many persons who have shown interest, persons from Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Africa, Nigeria, Syria, several countries, and many of them have shown their interest in becoming citizens in our country, where we offer citizenship by two forms, one by way of real estate and the other by way of donation in the country. As a government agency, we're responsible for approving all the projects for the citizenship by investment. And
well, they're not really, I'm at a little variance for approving the projects. But the process starts with Skipper, the St. Kitts Investment Promotion Agencies. They do all the interviews, they collate all the information, then they make a recommendation through the CIU to the cabinet for approval. Only the cabinet approves my Street Dog family. So that is the process, and we have lost that. And this is what happened according to the former Minister of Government, General Powell, as it relates to this project that's creating all this song and dance. And Powell was a member of the cabinet back then that approved this project, my Street Dog family.
The prison is being built in terms of financing is similar to what we did with the Park Hyatt. A developer comes in, presents a project, and they are allocated X number of shares, which represent citizenships, which they can make available to the investors. The only difference is that with this particular project, when it is completed, it will be turned over to the government to manage and to operate as a prison, which means that the government did not have to find the money to build the prison. The member, myself and the other ministers were part of the approval process for that project while we were in government. It is a private project. It is being done by a private company, as with the Park Hyatt, and so there's no need, it doesn't go through any government process in terms of having to put out tenders for different contracts and all of that.
So my Straight Talk family, was Donald Powell smoking? Was he drinking? Was he drunk in cabinet? What happened? This is the process he outlined. My Straight Talk family. So when people have come and said different things, you have to ask yourselves, why are they trying to betray the country and its people? But very interesting, my Straight Talk family, the Prime Minister, Dr. July, approved the first project, I should say, under the public benefit option. The Philippe Martinez public benefit option was approved by Terence Michael July just last year in 2023. And it was reported by the social media platform. And it's accurate, my Straight Talk family.
In May 2023, after recognising the public benefit that the MSR entities were providing to the islands, the MSR entities were recognised as approved public benefactors and granted 600 CBI shares under the approved public benefit programme.
600 shares, my Straight Talk family. 600 shares approved by Terence Michael July and his cabinet for the convicted fraudster, Philippe Martinez. So let's just do the calculation, my Straight Talk family. And it was to produce films. And we're not certain if the OTI was involved or included in that. But we know that the Ocean Terrace Inn, we understand, went for $8 million. $8 million. So let's just do the calculation. And you know, mathematics is one of my strongest weak points, so forgive me if I get it wrong. But I'll try to get it right. 600 shares allocated at $200,000 US per share equals 120 million US dollars. That is 326 million EC dollars. Was all this money going to be put into the pocket, the deep pocket of this convicted fraudster, Philippe Martinez? That too is getting lost in the discussion. 600 shares again allocated to this convicted fraudster would equate or amount to US $120 million if each year, according to, they like to use this word, legal amount to be charged, 200,000 US dollars equals 120 million US dollars or 326 million EC dollars. I wonder how much his advisor Astafan would be getting from that as his legal advisor. My Straight Talk family, lest we forget, this convicted fraudster was allowed into Nevis without proper due diligence and did not conform to the COVID-19 protocols. No matter you hear that the snake Mark Brantley is not named, There's no allegations against him, my Straight Dog family.
So I have seen, in short answer, Freedom, the allegations and counter allegations. I've seen the lawsuit. I've read some 102 pages, I think it was. Took my time and I read it. And I am comforted that there is not one single allegation against me or anybody in Nevis. Not one. So all who have cocoa or sun and rain coming, they're going to have to go deal with that. But there's no cocoa in the sun in Nevis. And if there's any in the sun in Nevis, the sun is shining, no rain is coming. There's no mention. And I thought it instructive that MSR, who was brought to the Federation by us, the NIA, to make movies, is now in this international battle, it looks like, with functionaries on the island of St. Kitts. And nobody in Nevis whatsoever has been named in that lawsuit, nor has there been any allegation against anybody in Nevis in relation to that lawsuit. And so Freedom is asking what advice I would give. I believe all those who are sued have lawyers. That is their job, to advise their client. It's not for me to advise anybody. But I am comforted in the reality that there has been nothing untoward said of me or my administration, or anyone else for that matter, on the island of Nevis. Some of the allegations are quite explosive.
Explosive, yes. But how could the snake Mark Brantley be named? Oh, yes, he's named. He's named as a key witness in the case. The snake is named by this convicted fraudster as the key witness. He is the key witness, my Straight Dog family. So why is Mark Brantley gloating that he is not named in the United States RICO lawsuit by Philippe Martinez? He's a key witness, the state witness, the star witness, my Straight Dog family. And then Snake Mark Brantley is boasting that he's not in the RICO lawsuit Felon Martinez has brought against the St. Kitts, Nevis, and Anguilla National Bank, who gave the NIA a 2-year moratorium. When that was done, they went back for another 2 years moratorium. Until this, they don't pay the National Bank the money owed. So how can he just sit back, be gloating, and let this convicted fraudster do what he's doing and distance himself from the lawsuits? Doesn't July understand this as well? Doesn't he understand his role as the Prime Minister? As I mentioned earlier, government owns 51% of St. Kitts, Nevis, and Anguilla National Bank's shares. My Straight Dog family. But these are the issues that confront us, my Straight Dog family. And we better beware. Because the question was asked of July about the revocation, the withdrawing of passports. And as usual, he had a nonsense answer, my Straight Dog family.
Going to be liable to those persons, those applicants. In other words, do you have to carry out a refund operation to any of the applications, to any of the applicants
we don't
on
think
the
so.
program?
We don't think so. We don't think we have to refund any applicant. As a matter of fact, the opposite question might be asked based on the amount, but we don't foresee that. We were really concerned about all the questions that were being asked and the sheer number of citizenship by this program. How many persons live in St. Kitts? What's the population? Roughly 50,000. And for one prison project, 25,000. And that former Prime Minister is talking. That is beyond appalling. That is, how can you have thought of using a prison project to offer 25,000 persons?
My Stray Dog family, truth be told, my Stray Dog family, Astafan also had issues with Timothy Harris and with Denzel Douglas. Astafan, no doubt, is trying to get even. He had issues with Harris because his client, Bazarian, was not handed the US $41 million contract for the construction of the new cruise pier. Recall that, my Stray Dog family. He's still bearing grudges with that. I reminded you that the chairman of SCASPA had to write him a very strong letter, because obviously he was getting inside information, just like he's doing now with Garth Wilkin. And he exposed Garth Wilkin. Imagine, who can do something like that, my Stray Dog family? He actually, as the Antigua Prime Minister would say, he pooped on Garth Wilkin.
Coming to our country to stir poop on Observer Radio. Do I keep your poop in St. Kitts, man? Sure.
Yes, he pooped on Garth Wilkin. Can't poop no longer in Antigua and Barbuda. He went to poop in Grenada. And poor Garth Lucifer Wilkin was exposed by Astafan. But my Stray Dog family, Jew, on the other hand, July, is trying to settle his grievance with Douglas. Remember, Douglas said he was out of order. Jew ultimately wants to get out of Douglas's shadow, my Stray Dog family, and to this day. And this to him may be his golden opportunity, my Stray Dog family. This to him may be his golden opportunity, my Stray Dog family. Remember, he was asked a question about the relationship between Douglas and himself. And this was his response, my Stray Dog family.
What is your relationship like with the former Prime Minister, Dr. Denzel Douglas? He is part of the cabinet, and how would you describe your relationship with him?
My relationship with him is a good relationship. I don't think there's no doubt that I am the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. I am the leader of the party. On those things, there are no doubt. That has been accepted by our party, by my cabinet, and so forth, and generally by people of the country of St. Kitts and Nevis.
But my Stray Dog family, we have to stop Philippe Martinez. He has to be stopped.
This is about stopping a scam, a good scam, as described, stopping to infect the US banking system, looking into whoever got the passport in China with that Chinese due diligence company, because right now we got people right and left being arrested in the US and the UK with Chinese passports that they got with St. Kitts passport. Everything's going to collapse if it's not handled. So I've done my part of the job. I spent $2 million in legal costs, investigator all over the world. And I filed a RICO lawsuit to expose these people. Now it's up to the Prime Minister of this country to take decision to save their program But now at least they know what's going on. So hard decision needs to be made.
What a way to try to save the program, my Straight Talk family. But there's a time to speak and a time to remain silent. This is not a time to be silent, my Straight Talk family, with all that's going on in St. Kitts and Nevis. This is not a time to be silent when what is going on is a betrayal of our country and its people. That's my story tonight, my Straight Dog family, and I am not going to change it. I will open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. But before I do, and I'll do so momentarily, I always like to implore you to respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned, and let us try ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in saying and doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. At 11 past the 9 o'clock hour, we go straight to the lines and say good night to our first caller. Caller, you live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller? Are you there, caller? Hello, caller.
Hello.
Yes, caller, you live?
Yes.
Yes, caller, you live?
Yes. Hello.
Yes, you're live.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening, my dear.
The quote for this evening: vote for the man who promises the least. He'll be the least disappointing. I repeat, vote for the man who promises the least. He'll be the least disappointing. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much. Vote for the man who promises the least. He'll be the least disappointing. What's going on here with my telephone, though? Something just was not right just now. See what's going on with my telephone here tonight. So what's going on here? Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry about that. My Straight Dog family. What's going on here tonight with that local line? Okay, caller. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Mr. Patel.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Why? Well, don't forget about it. Forget about it. That is, I want to read Psalm 75, but I want to ask you a question. Mr. Patrick, you come in Saturday afternoon at Tabernacle?
Yes, that's a possibility. Yes, sir.
Now, I'm gonna tell you, I have the biggest house for the year. I got it in my house. It comes from my tree by my door. So if you want it, I'm going to leave it for you.
Okay, my brother. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I'll be on my table watching it right now.
Okay. Saturday's a long time. I hope it won't spoil.
What is that?
I said Saturday's a long time from now, so I hope that it won't spoil.
Not spoil, man.
Okay. So what's...
Not spoil, I tell you.
Okay, what's the Bible verse for tonight?
You're right. Psalm 75. 11. Hear your parties. Comes and defend. Unto thee, O God,
Give thanks.
do we give thanks unto thee? Do we give thanks for thy name is near
The wondrous works.
by the wonderful declare.
Wondrous works declare.
When I receive the congregation and I judge upright. Here is here. The earth and all inhabitants thereof
Shall be.
are dissolved, and bear up the pillar of it. Shalom. I said, here is number 4. I said unto the foolish, deal not foolishly. Unto the wicked, lift not thy hand.
Speak not.
And here number 5. Let not of your hand on high and speak
Not with a stiff neck.
a shepherd neck. Number 6, I am saying here, promotion cometh not from the east,
Or the west.
nor the west, nor the south. But God is the judge.
Absolute judge, my brother.
He put down
And he sets up.
one and set up another.
Thank you very much.
That is my thing for this tonight. And Jeremiah chapter tell you, you mustn't be leave that alone. Isaiah 54:17, Captain.
Okay. Got you.
Isaiah 54, no weapon formed against you, Captain.
Shall prosper, yeah.
Shall prosper.
True.
And every tongue that rise up against thee in judgment shall condemn. This is the heritage of the servant of the Lord, and the righteousness of me said, that is good night.
Good night, my brother. Thanks a lot for your spiritual intervention each time. As we go back to the lines, I call you live. Hello, caller.
Mr. Straight Talk.
How about thou, my brother?
Oh man, it couldn't be better. I just got to give God thanks. My brother, how are you?
I am peaceful. I'm really peaceful. Yourself?
Yes, man. I just have to give God thanks for the way that He continue to heal up my body. My boy, I've been sick from since March.
How are you now?
Went to the doctor last week, but all is well.
All is well. Good to hear that, my brother.
Mm. Yeah, Mr. Straight Talk, I listened to your program yesterday. That guy, that Cashley Allen's, that's the water bucket guy?
Yes, you got him. Right
That's him?
Yes.
But if him can see, why the rest of them cannot see? Because I'm listening to the program there last night, and I'm saying, but because I was far from it, so when he come on and he's saying something, so I said, I can't remember, and that's the first thing I have to do, to ask if that's that guy, because I can't believe that is that guy turning back to recognize what is going on in Sekis and others saying can't see. But it's good. Mr. Straight Talk, I tell you, have a lot of people listen to this program now, and they don't just because they just stay silent. I talked to my niece last week, and I was surprised that she listened to your program. So good night, my lovely niece. You and the children and husband. I know you're listening because I didn't know that you listened to my Straight Talk. And I tell her, me and your brother. She said, what? She didn't know that I know you. So I tell her, yes, me and you, we're very, very good. We sit together, we eat together, we drink together. So God is good. That's why we continue this relationship until someday we shall depart from each other, but God is good. Mr. Straight Talk, I just want you to continue to do what you're doing. And to my brother there, Alvin, and his son George Reed in Bellevue, you guys be good. And my cousin there, Emil in town, who lost his wife, bury his wife today. Mr. Emil, be good. God bless you. Take care. And Mr. Straight Talk, I'll see you soon.
I look forward to that, my brother. Look forward to that, certainly. Do look forward to that, okay? Yes. And what sort of games my phones are playing with? The overseas is now up, the local one is down. Something is jinxy here. Let's see. My lines are open, my Straight Dog family, and we'll get you through no matter what. We will get you through that local line and that overseas line. Like I said, we will ensure that all is well. But my lines are open, and as I said before, our thesis tonight, the betrayal of a country and its people. Yes, we have to be wary. We have to be cautious, my Straight Dog family, of what's going on in this country. And I'm not certain. Oh, yes. Okay, let's go back to the lines. I'll call you live. Hello, caller? Are you there, caller? Okay, we seem to have lost that caller again. Let's go back to the lines. Are you there, caller? Yes, caller, you're there.
I just want to say good night to my wonderful niece there in St. Louis, and to Texas Queen, and to my boy there in Lodge. I can't even remember his name tonight, but
Culture.
I want you guys to be good. Culture. Yes. So, Mr. Culture, be good. Mr. Straight Talk, thank you. See you soon.
See you, my brother. There's someone trying to call the local number on an overseas line. There's an overseas line you can get me directly on. That's 646-829-6672. You can try that number, and you will get me on that number. So who's trying to get this number? That's 869. You can get me on that overseas line, which is 646-829-6672. My Straight Talk family. Now, Goodnight Patches reads this email. Let's try and dispense of the emails since I'm having this difficulty with the lines. The fire officers up at the Bastille fire station are crying out on the bad treatment they're having now. The officers were moved from the main building and placed in police training school building, which has poor living. Despite the July moved them and said the fire station building needs remodeling. They were told that the main building roof needs to be fixed. But Patches, isn't that a new roof that was done some years ago? The officers have no complaints about the building. It is their sanctuary, but the living state of the police training school building is in a poor state. Roaches and insects in full population in training school. The ladies have no privacy of their own because they are mixed with the males. There is not a direct kitchen for them, and the electrical wiring is poor. Some officers have been shocked already from being in that building. Patches also, internet service ain't working properly. Either the emergency phones are connected to the internet and internet is always dropping. Sometimes people call for fire emergencies and the calls are missed because service has dropped. This is not good at all. The officers need to be comfortable so they can function well for their duty. Caller, thank you for holding your line. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller?
Greetings, Mr. Patches. Greetings.
Greetings, my brother. I'm sorry for the connections tonight.
How are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
I'm very good. Continue listening to your itchy topics.
Thank you.
Very stimulating.
Thank you.
Whenever conflict arises between material and spiritual values, the conscience plays an important role. And anyone who suffers from a guilty conscience is never free from his problem until he makes peace with his conscience. Mr. Patches, as this story continues unfolding, there is a question I want to ask before I make a point. Once ago, anyone in the Caribbean countries, we would hear some kind of statement from the State Department or something like that towards anyone in the Caribbean countries providing the fee something is out of place. MSR has anything to do with the Treasury Department?
No, it's a private company registered in Nevis.
And what about the man, Philip Martinez? He is a CEO or anything of the Treasury Department?
No, he's not attached to any government department in the US that I know of.
Why I ask a question like that is because when I listened some time back, you played a clip with the St. Lucia Prime Minister. And the same issue that is facing us in St. Kitts, and the way the St. Lucia Prime Minister put the words of pertaining to defense of a country, I continue asking myself, the topic that he has tonight is a question that has to ask pertaining to a topic like that. Because here is it, John L. Powell is saying when the project is completed, it belongs to St. Kitts. What could be so undermining with a project like that? If when a project like that is completed, it belongs to St. Kitts. We want a new jail. We want a fresh jail. Why we feel we must continue with a jail like that for the next 50 years? But we want a fresh jail. We must see that the country wants a fresh jail. It's a reform process we need. So why we must feel something like that should be a problem to us? And Mr. Patches, if what's going on pertaining to Dr. Douglas and Dr. Tibanti, if it was a private business that was involved in, I could have understand a prime minister or even okay, let me don't put it that way. But I could have understand the prime minister saying he distancing himself. But when we know government is continuous and everybody is benefiting from the CBI, how could we be developing like that without an interference from government? An attorney general is supposed to be representing the people. And any issue pertaining the state, the attorney general is supposed to represent the state because the state is up to people. So I do not understand why the St. Lucia Prime Minister must be so direct with his words of defense of a country. And when we hear from our people, we hear in this kind of immature way of thought when it comes on the development of their people. Why you must put your people to hardship in a delay today? Mr. Patches, you continue to be strong and stay focused. God bless.
God bless you. God bless you as well, my dear brother. Very, very poignant points. Yes, the St. Lucia Prime Minister, in fact, had this to say.
When you join with international fraudsters to damage your country because you believe you get some gain sad. It's pathetic. This is not a local thing. It's not local people. This is the country's reputation. When you blast all over the world that your government is involving corruption and fraudsters and this and that, and you damage your country because you believe it will serve you with some local benefit. That's not right. The State Department, the Treasury Department, has never signaled anything to St. Lucia about the CIP program. Never. Never.
Likewise, St. Kitts, that we know of, except years ago, the Treasury Department spoke to illicit actors, and that was in 2013 or 14, some 10 years ago. Patches, a family member of mine, had an appointment scheduled with July yesterday morning at government headquarters. Arriving promptly, he was inexplicably told to return after lunch. Dutifully, he did so, only to discover that July had left for the airport, heading overseas yet again. The dismissive and inconsiderable behavior not only wasted my family's valuable time, but also starkly revealed July's blatant disregard for others' schedule and commitments. July's reckless jet setting is well known. This is the third time in 2 weeks that he has abruptly left the country, cancelling critical meetings and shirking responsibilities, prioritizing his own agenda over a previously scheduled meeting. July's action left my family feeling deeply frustrated and undervalued. The sheer lack of professionalism and respect exhibited by July's paints a damning picture of his character and raises serious questions about his dedication to his duties, reads this email. At 9:32, this other email reads, Patches, the people of Nevis are saying that the best days they have ever had was under the Prime Ministership, beg your pardon, of the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris. Today, Nevis is like a ghost town. Absolutely nothing is happening. The people of Nevis are calling on Dr. Harris and the PLP to have a presence in Nevis. The people of Nevis want PLP to field quality division candidates at the next elections under the banner of the PLP. We, the people of Nevis, are confident that PLP can make an upset in Nevis because definitely this is the last of Mark Brantley. The people of Nevis has now proven that he is a failure. And that reminds me that the PLP's convention is going to be held this coming Saturday, my Straight Dog family. And put that in your diaries as well. As I said, the PLP convention would be held on Saturday. And my Straight Dog family, just for those who may have joined me lately, just to inform you, and those who may be joining me for the first time, you may just bump into Straight Talk. Straight Talk is a program that's heard every Monday and Thursday night from 8 to 10 in the PM. And for tonight, we are discussing our thesis, which I have titled The Betrayal of a Country and Its People, my Straight Dog family. And I examined from the onset the issues that confront us and confront us on a daily basis. The main issue that we are faced with on a daily basis is occupying our times and occupying all the moments of time as well. And that's the RICO lawsuit filed by this convicted fraudster. Let's go to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Yes, caller.
Actually, this is the major. You listen to him?
How is the major tonight?
Boy, thanking God for that. There's a question I want to ask you, boy. Two questions I want to ask you, Bashir. You listening to me?
Yes, I always listen to the major.
Yeah. Well, the first question is, what do we take with us? What do we take with us?
Absolutely nothing.
That's what the good book says.
Yeah.
Because man takes nothing at all with us. Even he born in this world and he got to live with nothing. And on the other hand, I'm glad that you answered that question because I don't know what we're worrying about, you know. It seems as though that we're going to get some problem. We got nothing and we ain't going to take nothing. So let me stop worrying what we said, my friend. And the other one I want to find out from you. Remember I spoke to you sometime about truth. You remember that, didn't you?
Yes, yes.
And what I spoke about truth, I said to you, God is a spirit. God is a spirit, isn't it? And he got what we have here is evil angels. We have evil angels. What are we going to do with that? That is, we have evil angels, and they're messing around us, man. Terrible. I mean, we have worked all our life to build this thing, and we have people just come in and mess it up. Evil angels.
Yep.
And the truth is killing. I mean, let's be realistic, it is true. Because we have evil angels. You know that?
Of course we do.
So what me and you can do? What me and you?
Pray.
Yeah, because these angels, they have time and they appear to be human beings. Yeah. They appear to be human beings. Yeah. You laugh. Huh?
You're right, my brother.
Yeah, they appear to be human. And because the form that they have, they are invisible. They're invisible, but they're terrible. So what are we going to do, boy? You will have to come and tell me. I have to come in and we have to have a rapport.
Yes. Let's pray. Let's go down, bruise our knees and pray, my brother.
Okay, thank you very much. Always, since that you agree with me, I'm happy for you. Right?
always, Major. Good to hear you, Major. Fall out. Yeah. Yes, Major Jones always comes with what I call the abstract. But my thesis tonight, as I said, my Street Dog family, is titled The Betrayal of the Country and its People. And as I said from the beginning, that the natural starting point in considering crimes of betrayal of a country is the crime of treason. And what was going on, I nurtured a thought in my mind pretty early, but I had to resign, move away from that thought. And it surrounded, or it's involved what some people call a corporal punishment, flogging. In some countries, they do that, but it's inhumane, I may hasten to add. Because when you see what's going on, you know, some people deserve that some people deserve that flogging, but it's inhumane, and United Nations do not accept that. So we won't even go there. But these crimes of betrayal of a country, which is a crime of treason, my Street Dog family, in considering the betrayal of people, in considering the betrayal of the people, one starting point, as I said, can be the close examination of the performance of July over the past 2 years. Let's go back to the line. Let's call you live.
Yeah, Mr. Lyman, how you doing today, man?
I am peaceful, my brother.
Yeah, man. I just want to get straight to the MSR saga continues.
Yes.
And I just want to put it out there that I've been talking out here for quite some time now, talking about corruption, and this MSR saga has brought a lot of this stuff to light. You know what I'm saying? Once this guy went to court and filed these lawsuits, we start seeing all the finger pointing again. We're seeing all of the divisions with the politicians and also the people. The people are moving on this party line thing and on this thing of affiliation, who they're associated with and who they support. And basic wrong and right doesn't really go like that. Basic wrong and right really doesn't go like that. If I have a friend and I see a friend doing wrong and I don't call him out, I'm not really a true friend. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really a true friend. I don't like what I'm seeing happening in St. Kitts and Nevis. And it doesn't matter who did what and when things was done. It's a dark shadow hanging over St. Kitts and Nevis right now. And it's being looked at on the international scene. Right now, you can tell your listening audience if that project that came up with this case, the prison project, which is the primary project on the table right now. What the people of St. Kitts and Nevis got to realize, it appears like this project is now at a halt. That means them invested dollars, they're not going to flow to getting this project done. And subsequent projects as well. And the people of St. Kitts and Nevis got to realize that this second year of this current administration, if those capital projects doesn't start rolling out, we're already halfway through this year here. And I can't see none of these capital projects going forward as yet. With this scandal, and nobody can deny that this is a scandal. There was a lot of talk about scandals in the previous administration, and I've now seen the biggest scandal ever in St. Kitts and this, to me, in my knowing, seems to be the biggest scandal ever. So if we are current right now, and we are dealing with the biggest scandal right now, all of these allegations are going to be addressed in court. We don't care. I don't care who the defendants are. They got to go to court not to defend themselves. And all of this finger pointing and all this back and forth stuff is not going to do nothing good for the Federation. Persons want to see the CBI defended, but if our politicians don't get together to defend that program and that program collapse, all of the social programs going to be affected. You think that lady just now, earlier what you talk about, didn't get her PAC payment? She is now starting to feel the squeeze. The effects already don't start happening. That prison project is on hold. If these investment dollars don't come into the Federation, everything will be affected on the board. We're going to see a big jump in crime. If those social programs get shut down altogether, those persons that we are complaining has already been taken off of that programs and their life has been affected already, then the rest of us can start feeling the squeeze when the programs come to a screeching halt. What I believe the people of St. Kitts and Nevis need to do at this time is go in the street and protest against this corruption. Finish away with all of this talking. We got to show these politicians who got the real power in their hands. The people do. And all of those paid persons who is now talking about defending the CBI program, they need to get this mobilization together. This is our national asset. There were persons already who didn't really believe in this program. They didn't want to see our passports be sold like this. And now the cat is out of the bag. The people really need to take action. If they don't take an action, the status quo remains. This prime minister here, he cannot brush this underneath the rug. This will be the talk of all these talk shows from now until this case comes up. If I was this prime minister, I'm telling you, Mr. Liburd and the listeners, I would have taken actions against some persons around me. You know, somebody mentioned the top legal advisor to this government, this cabinet, whoever that person is. When these persons find out that there was criminal element around this situation here, they should have charged persons. They should have taken disciplinary actions against those persons. And it appears like they didn't do it. And that's why we ended up in court in Florida. You know, and these politicians in St. Kitts and Nevis, man, they're trying to distance themselves away from the average persons. They give themselves a raise in parliament. And then look at what's happening to the country now. We have come into a crash with our biggest, income earner, the CBI. If that CBI program goes down, bro, and come to a screeching halt, people are going to start sprinting, man. They're not going to know where they're going to get their next dollar and their next meal. Crime is going to shut up. It's going to affect all of us. The people need to mobilize and come together and go in the street peacefully and show these politicians they are the ones that got the power and protest against this corruption. It's continuous. Action got to be taken in order for this stuff to stop and to get this corruption in St. Kitts and Nevis cleaned up. That's all I got to say to these people tonight, man. And I wish St. Kitts and Nevis the best, and I hope they can come out from underneath this dark cloud sometime soon. But it's not going to be no time soon, man. Not until this case disposed of. If I was the leader in the federation, I would be acting like I'm a leader. I would be disciplining people around me, man. And I would clean up the mess around me. I would show St. Kitts and Nevis that I'm the prime minister and not nobody else. Dr. Drew need to stop letting his advisors and his people around him take him down the wrong path. He got to clean up around him. Somebody gave him that advice before and he didn't take it.
Okay.
And this is where we are at, where we at right now.
Okay.
And we wish St. Kitts and Nevis the best going forward. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, my dear brother. Thanks a lot. And you're so correct. I don't believe that Drew understands his role.
Educate me in anything. I know there is a part of it that talks about a judicial review, that those who would have gotten citizenship under the prison project, that they should be revoked. We introduced criminalization for anybody who would have undersold or who would have, misrepresented the true cost of our citizenship by investors. So we did not wait on anybody to do that. That is why we know we are ahead of the game. Nobody should be able to take any government to court for good governance. You should have good governance from the beginning.
Okay, we go back to the lines. A caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Brother Patches. Good night, listening audience.
Good night, my brother.
In the world. That is, as I will say from beginning, I stand for correction if I say something that in error or misleading. But I am trying to get a good clarification from what I've heard in respect to the litigation with MSR, the name individuals in this litigation in the court of Florida, and what is going on in St. Kitts. Now, I'm going to backtrack. It is alleged that a RICO lawsuit has been filed in the court of Florida, and a civil suit being filed in St. Kitts. Now, beginning with Philip Martinez, who was brought into Nevis by welcoming, and then over to St. Kitts. He came in to make movies, as it was said, and from movies, and dialogue, he ended up in the CBI. Now, since he got the position to run the CBI program, now, if anyone gonna take a position, they have to do a review of the position with the previous administrators and how he's going to approach moving forward. Now, it is said and alleged again that he have discovered corruption in the CBI program, and actions speak that he's going to clean it up. He claimed that he informed the Prime Minister 18 months ahead, knowing what he has discovered. Now, in the court of Florida, why the lawsuit filed there, if it affects him, or is he a fighter for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis? He saw something going on and he tried to stop it and clean it up. Now, let's say the Prime Minister was informed, and for 18 months, where that part of in the United States should that case should have filed? Shouldn't it be in, okay, the Prime Minister and the Attorney General was notified of the discovery. Why didn't they brought the lawsuit in the Federation of St. Kitts rather than for it to end up in Florida? No. Did it take a foreigner who entered in the CBI to find out these things? Did anyone know about these corruption before in the Federation? The Prime Minister, did they notify Philip Martinez? Did Mark Brantley notify Philip Martinez and charge Martinez to go after this? They use a foreign force to do this? I think we should have cleaned up our own mess, okay? Because this is brought on an international stage. Everybody knows allegation. Now you're innocent until proven guilty, okay? But this doesn't sound good out here because the CBI program is at halt. Nothing is going on. People are suffering and they continue to suffer. No social service is charged the way it should have been charged. Okay? No money, nothing going on. No. Do we have a lame ducks in the cabinet as leaders? Instead, they make that aggressive charge. Why are they waiting and depending on a decision to make in Florida? We should take care of our own business. It is our CBI. Every island have their own CBI program. Okay? But why it take Philip Martinez? What was the real negotiation, acceptance for Philip Martinez to get the CBI? I'm not saying he is wrong. I'm not saying he is lying, because these are alleged. Okay? But I think this should have been handled much better, and this thing has blown out of proportion. Okay? If there is a matter and there are evidence, we should have taken action ASAP, but we did not. Florida first, United States, and then St. Kitts after, to expose these names that has been mentioned into the case. And if they are found guilty in that racketeering, that RICO racketeering, then they have full force to go after locally under civil grounds. Okay? But I think we should have taken the leading role. And what affects Philip Martinez and his business, if there are losses and he is making a claim for that, well, those are two separate cases. I can view in my opinion. But St. Kitts should take care of St. Kitts. If they are wrongful doing, deal with that. Okay? Because we have a justice system. So our justice system is crap then, since we got to depend on our outside intervention. I just say that to make sense because it makes sense to me in that spirit. I will I rest my argument temporarily, and I will let the other audience callers to inject their opinion. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your contribution. Just to inform that it's a civil lawsuit, right? It's not it's a civil lawsuit that are taken out under the RICO laws in the U.S. And it may not. It will take some time. Number one, for it to get to the court. It's not that they normally take time. And in cases, the case I broached just, I think it was last week, with Brantley, and it was dismissed because of the jurisdiction, right? So this may very well be the same thing. I mean, Martinez, a criminal. What he's looking for? Ask ourselves, what are the reasons why we are in the midst of this quote-unquote betrayal? Ask ourselves, what are some reasons why some in our midst and in high places would want to betray their own country and the citizens? Because there are many here who are behind this. Like this one, my straight dog family.
I ask the question, why would any of us join with anybody from outside to destroy a program that has served all of us?
Don't worry that idle talk, my straight dog family, because what could make somebody do what Philippe Martinez is doing, and what these accomplices, I call them, are doing in terms of our program? In today's St. Kitts, it seems like the what I said, the sense of materialism outweighs the patriotism of our current leaders. I made mention of their priority. And their priority was not to look after the poor people in this country, not to address the rising cost of living, the lack of water, the unreliable supply, electricity supply. What have they focused on? Not on housing. They promised to build 600 houses per year. They've only built 2 in the year gone by. But what was their priority? Raise their own salaries by 35%. While ordinary people are suffering and will continue to suffer more as they clinically remove them from the poverty alleviation program. Single mothers are hurting. They act as though if they don't go through with the betrayal of the country and the people that they are elected to serve, then their life or their family lives will be destroyed. They're full of ego. Some of them are now in power, and this makes them feel so important. They strut all around the country, flanked by security. And that too makes them feel even more important, it seems. And now, we're getting local, regional, and international attention because of this convicted felon, Philippe Martinez. And this must be classified as a clear and present danger to our national security, our economic and financial stability. Look at what's happening to the National Bank, the largest homogeneous bank in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. And most, if not all of these banks hold the same portfolios while pursuing similar diversification strategies, these homogeneous banks. So how could we just sit back as leaders and allow this convicted criminal to expose the National Bank, the St. Kitts, Nevis and Gula National Bank, to the financial risk of losing its corresponding banking relationship with the Bank of America? I think it's their corresponding bank right now. How could we sit back, my Straight Talk family, and allow this? We should not sit back and allow this, my Straight Talk family. This criminal got messages from his advisor.
You have seen the WhatsApp messages of the Attorney General of St. Kitts and Nevis in the lawsuit. It's not me writing that. That is the Attorney General calling the scheme a good scam, saying that they were selling at $75,000. The legal price is $175,000, $100,000 less. This is not even a scam. This is the biggest heist that took place on the people of the Caribbean with their passport money.
Selling $100,000 less. But if they are selling for $75,000 and have to pay $60,000 out of that to the CIU for its fees, what this criminal is talking about, my Straight Talk family?
This is about stopping a scam, a good scam, as described, stopping to infect the US banking system, looking into whether got the passport in China with that Chinese due diligence company, because right now we got people right and left being arrested in the US and the UK with Chinese passports that they got with St. Kitts passport. Everything's going to collapse if it's not handled. So I've done my part of the job. I spent $2 million in legal costs, investigator all over the world. And I filed a RICO lawsuit to expose these people. Now it's up to the Prime Minister of this country to take decision to save their program. But now at least they know what's going on. So hard decision needs to be made.
And my Straight Talk family, there's obviously a high-level conspiracy with this international fraudster who has recruited a former minister of government as his advisor. Gerald Anthony Dwyer Astafan. That's his advisor, he's declared. But obviously he is a political advisor. Although he's a lawyer, but he's not qualified to allow or not allowed to argue in court on behalf of Martinez, as he has not been called to the bar. Dwyer is therefore not fit to speak at the bar of the Eastern Caribbean or other courts as judges. Only allow legally qualified men, and or women for that matter, to address them in court on the law. So perhaps Dwyer, or that is why Dwyer speaks with the Attorney General, Garth Lucifer Wilkin, and then exchange WhatsApp messages before forwarding those same WhatsApp messages to his client Philippe Martinez, who provides them as an exhibit in his claim, my Straight Dog family. and he boasts about them. This is what he says.
You have seen the WhatsApp messages of the Attorney General of St. Kitts and Nevis in the lawsuit. It's not me writing that. That is the Attorney General calling the scheme a good scam, saying that they were selling at $75,000. The legal price is $175,000, $100,000 less. This is not even a scam.
And my Straight Talk family, and my Straight Talk family, how can they sell at $75,000 when the fees levied by the CEU in St. Kitts is $60,000 per family? So one must examine the lies that are being peddled by this international fraudster. Imagine, let's imagine our chief legal advisor and attorney general, my Straight Talk family, our chief legal advisor and attorney general seem to be complicit with the advisor of the criminal, Philip Martinez. He has named his advisor as Dwyer Astafan. In an effort, it seems, to end the political career of two of our leaders, two of our former prime ministers, to be exact, who still have quite a lot to offer, to give to this country. Denzel Llewellyn Douglas and Timothy Sylvester Harris both still have quite a lot to contribute to St. Kitts. His advisor Astafan studied law in England, not called to the bar, as I said. But isn't it strange, my Straight Talk family, that the law firm Kelsey, Wilkin and Ferdinand, and the lead lawyer is the nephew of Gerald Anthony Dwyer Astafan, the advisor of Philippe Martinez? Is it a coincidence that the father of the Attorney General is the owner or part owner of Celtic, Wilkin and Ferdinand? And that's where the Attorney General worked all his life. Coincidental? Isn't it strange that Dwyer shared his WhatsApp messages, my Straight Talk family, with the claimant and international fraudster? There's so much coincidence or correlation in this betrayal of our country and its people, my Straight Talk family. I'm going to give you 15 seconds, caller, as I'm winding down. Can you use it?
Yes, I'll try to do that. Listen, I'm amending to what I commented on previously. Now, in respect to that litigation again, well, let us put a rest on this now. The judge in Florida, as I read, quashed this subpoena by Philip Martinez, which means the case have no merit. So there would be no case heard in respect to the subpoena by Martinez. So moving from there, it left for the civil in the Federation. Now, these calculations that Philip Martinez passport should have been at 175,000 and sold at 75. So we have 100,000 floating out there, multiplied by the tally of our passport was sold. Well, if those numbers were to add up, which doesn't make sense by the quash motion, then what will the action taken by the exhibit that mentioned in this litigation? Because everyone was depending on Florida to make a decision and then to found these subjects guilty. Moving forward, give the Federation to nail these people, send them to jail. But there won't be no case in Florida. So what next? I think Philip Martinez was set up, and probably his mathematics did not add up. And the damage has been done, because if you spread a rumor about someone which is not true, that's going to stick on you until how you going to prove that this rumor was fake or false? And how could people respect you? I think Dr. Harris and Dr. Douglas has a lot of damages done to them. How would they proceed moving forward? Thank you.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. That's where we're going to end it tonight in terms of the callers, my straight dog family. And as I said, that the advisor has to fund. He has to be a political advisor. He is not called to the bar. He's not allowed to argue in court on behalf of Martinez, and that's a fact. He's therefore not fit to speak at the bar of the Eastern Caribbean or other courts, as judges only allow legally qualified men to address them in court of law, and those who are called to the bar. Perhaps that's why he takes the messages from Garth Lucifer Wilkin and sends them to his client. But as I wrap tonight's program in my Straight Dog family, it is important again that I outline the process. But the process seemed to have gotten lost as relates to the CBI. And the process that I know starts with the St. Kitts Investment Promotion Agency, Skipper. It starts with Skipper, my Straight Dog family, as outlined by the director of Skipper, who had this to say some time ago, my Straight Dog family. Director Fritz, I think is the name, said this.
We have seen many persons who have shown interest, persons from Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Africa, Nigeria, Syria, several countries, and many of them have shown their interest in becoming citizens in our country, where we offer citizenship by two forms, one by way of real estate and the other by way of donation in the country. As a government agency, we're responsible for approving all the projects for the citizenship by investment. And
yes, my Dog family, the approval, final approval, I believe is done by the cabinet. Skipper nonetheless prepares the cabinet submission after consultation, after all their investigations and consultation with the CIU. And this is what happened, according to former Minister Jonel Powell, as it relates to the prison project, as it is called. This is exactly what happened, according to Powell.
The prison is being built in terms of financing is similar to what we did with the Park Hyatt. A developer comes in, presents a project, and they are allocated X number of shares, which represent citizenships, which they can make available to the investors. The only difference is that with this particular project, when it is completed, it will be turned over to the government to manage and to operate as a prison, which means that the government did not have to find the money to build the prison. The member, myself and the other ministers were part of the approval process for that project while we were in government. It is a private project. It is being done by a private company, as with the Park Hyatt, and so there is no need, it doesn't go through any government process in terms of having to put out tenders for different contracts and all of that.
And my Straight Talk family, very interesting. Philip Martinez's public benefit option was approved by Terence Michael Drew in late last year, 2023, according to this social media post, which is accurate, my Straight Talk family.
In May 2023, after recognising the public benefit that the MSR entities were providing to the islands, the MSR entities were recognised as approved public benefactors and granted 600 CBI shares under the approved public benefit programme.
And yes, my Straight Talk family, I did the calculation. I'll do it before I leave. 600 shares allocated at $200,000 equals 120 million US dollars, or 326 million EC dollars. My Straight Talk family, that's a lot of money being given to Philip Martinez. My Straight Talk family, Philip Martinez. But my Straight Talk family, as my pastor reminded us yesterday about Ecclesiastics. And I'll remind you that there is a time and season for everything. Everything in my Straight Talk family. A time to speak and a time to remain silent. And this is not a time to be silent. And what is going on is a betrayal of our country and its people. That's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I am not going to change it. I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, as always. I understand we had a little difficulty with the Facebook feed. I trust you would have switched to YouTube, my Straight Talk family. But for those of you who call and those of you who sent emails, I want you to know, wow, I miss my emails. I can't go to sleep without doing these patches. Some of these Caribbean leaders are boasting about how much money they intend to make during this World Cup and how much money they made the last time. I wonder how that liar Samuel feels when he heard that. That liar Samuel said last year when he was asked why St. Kitts wasn't hosting any matches, said the stadium needed renovations. That was a lie. He also said a few weeks ago that the government had to prioritize between World Cup and building a school and a hospital. That was another lie. How is it that they are keeping music festival? Is music festival more important than building a school and a hospital? Why all these ministers of government keep lying to us? Our country would have been seen by billions of people if we had hosted the World Cup. How much people does see our music festival? I believe hosting the World Cup would have been better than the music festival, with this email. The Premier of Nevis and members of CCM was quite notably absent from the PAM's convention. This gives rise to speculation that PAM has officially broken ranks with CCM, and based on the subtle warning Sean issued to the new leader to avoid friendship with those who cannot be trusted, I think Sean's message was clearly directed to the Premier who crooked Sean and Pam. Mark had no use for Pam from day one. He used Sean and Pam to get what he wanted. He should have opted for Sean to be the opposition leader and also give him the nominated member as well in Parliament to strengthen Pam's base. Beg your pardon. If Mark was really truthful and honest to Pam, he would have done that. Bearing in mind, he campaigned on a new movement formed with Pam and CCM. This big talk about good governance agenda is nothing but a charade. The government is compact with corruption. What has become of Freedom of Information Act that they say they passed? We are not hearing about it now. Why? Ask this email. Patches, why is God Lucifer Wilkin so quiet about the RICO lawsuit? Isn't he the chief legal advisor to the government? Is God Lucifer Wilkin trying to protect some people? This has anything to do with the text messages between himself and the former minister or his family's law firm that is representing that convicted criminal that is trying to destroy our country and our national bank. If any of this is true, then Garth Lucifer Wilkin must resign. I see a conflict in that. Good night, Patches. Dr. Jew sent his political activists and money-hungry friend, Curtis Martin, as the pierced down health to harass and victimize hard-working, young, qualified, experienced civil servants and replacing them with old, wrinkled U.S. retirees, friends and families. The former operations manager and two well-educated administrative officers are the recent victims. 2 years after lying to the public about no victimization, Jew is still victimizing civil servants. The new P.S. Martin do not even have an associate's degree, but he continued to parade like this big HR trainer. And he should be removed from that position. He's the chairman of the Labour Party in number 8 and known for his deceit and corruption. Ms. Bradshaw, Dr. Patrick Martin, Curtis Martin, Lindsay Martin, Jensen Morton, all need to be removed from their positions. We are in a health crisis in this country with these corrupt people in charge. Perhaps the worst ministry is health. And if Curtis Martin and Dr. Jew think that painting up the buildings and beautifying the JNF lobby is how to run a ministry, they are really sick in their minds. It's only a matter of time before Jew go back to being a doctor and Curtis Martin go back to begging. All of them are worthless and evil people. They forget they have children and families. Read that email. And that's the way we're going to end it, my Street Talk family, because my time is done and I got to run. I want to thank again Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight as always. I want to thank you, all those who listen, all those who called, all those who sent emails. Remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. I'm Ian Patch Liburd, and God's Pay we will connect on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk. Until that time, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. And remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you must believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Thursday.
When I wake in the morning, I thank God for the morning light. And praises for taking me safely through the night, for the rest of food